Hey everyone, Dakota Franson here. Now it's time to get to the really good stuff, the stuff you've been waiting for. How the hell do you get your show out there? Guess what? I have put together the perfect resource for you. I'm going to show you how I do it. I'm going to show I have a couple videos already prepared. I'm going to show you how I distribute Bald and Bonkers so that way it gets as much natural, free exposure. Free or low cost exposure, I should say. I'm even going to show you a little trick with one of the distribution partners to help you stay at the lowest payment plan possible if you decide to stay that way. Again, everything shown in this class is merely recommendations. This will show you how we do our shows so that way you can have a place to start. This will give you all the different places, all the different resources that are available to you, as well as to let you do the research to determine what works best for you. So, where do we begin? Well, first off, obviously, we want to start off with just a couple streaming etiquette. Now, as you may notice, a lot of the times I have a little bit of a stutter, or I may pause at weird times when I speak. That's just a weird neurological thing. It happens to certain people. I would say this because if you're going to utilize this format and you do a lot of remote work, you're not recording, like, say, if you decide to record with a co host and you record at different locations and sometimes your connection may seem a little funky, you may think that, oh, I'm just trying to fill the dead air. But in reality, you're kind of coming across that you're interrupting either your guest or your host and looking like kind of an ass. It's not a very professional look. I'm saying this because there's been a number of times I've gotten frustrated with shows I've been interviewed on, as well as with Chris on occasion, where that's the excuse they're putting out, is that they're trying to fill the dead air, and it's not that they don't seem to realize that the other person on the other end of the conversation doesn't realize that the connection may not seem stable. There's multiple avenues to this, and they're only focusing on what's directly in front of them. If you're working remotely, doing remote interviews, take a few moments to pause between each question. Pause, have a little bit of a pause after the person gives their answer, just to make sure you're not interrupting and to make sure that their signal doesn't all of a sudden start going out. There's this almost this panic mode that a lot of people go into, and Chris has done it on numerous occasions. I have as well, where he realizes that he's having issues. He just starts going, oh, I can't hear you. Oh, I can't hear you. Oh, I can't hear you. It's like, okay, shut down, restart, do what you got to do to bring your signal back up. We got to keep the show running. We're in the middle of the air. And while most people are understanding that technical issues do happen, especially if you take a live format, it's no one's fault. You got to be able to roll with the punches. And it's going to take you some time before you really develop your mojo, your any methods to get around this type of thing. So that way you look professional, you keep the show going, you keep the audience going. And if you're able to perform under that type of pressure, it just makes you look that much better. But again, technical issues do come up. And in fact, while I was pre-recording the videos in order that I'm going to show you later, some of the issues did come up, and I took the opportunity to address them. I don't want to try to make this look as seamless as possible. I want to try to address likely issues that you're going to run into, so that way you have a good starting point a good starting point, a better starting point than most people get in order to develop some sort of strategy to work around it. Because again, shit happens. Let's face it, shit happens. The only thing you can do is roll with the punches, figure it out. If you stumble and land flat on your face, take a moment, take a breather, and say, all right, then get up, dust yourself off, and say, all right, what do I need to do in order to make sure that doesn't happen again? Simple as that. And if you have a co-host, have an open dialogue. Don't start just trying to fire off at random. And we make a kind of a random joke that sometimes the reason why the shows run late is because of the Scottish gift of gab. I know it sounds like I'm ripping on Chris a lot. I'm reflecting genuine conversations. I'm reflecting on genuine experiences, and anybody who's dealt with a natural born Scotsman can verify that they tend to be a chatterbox. I'm also saying that knowing damn well that one of my sisters actually timed how long I can go off on a tangent, and I believe my record was about 6 hours and 30 minutes was what the timer ran up to. So I don't have a lot of room to talk, but I'm also kind of finicky because, like I mentioned in a previous lesson, you want to keep the show long enough to where you can get a genuine conversation in, but short enough that people are able to wiggle around their schedule a little easier. In some cases, there might be people that you're only going to be able to get for maybe 5-10 minutes if you're lucky. And I believe that was a bit of advice that gets tossed around by Gary Vee a lot, is that if you're looking for a high profile guest, don't try to go for a full hour, go for a full 3 hours, maybe set aside 10-15 minutes, because that's a little easier for people to work in if they have a hectic work schedule. It's just like when I tell people if they want to schedule me because they've heard of my many projects, if they want to schedule me on their show, I have no problem coming on people's shows. It's just, the only thing I say is give me a bit of a heads up so I can plan accordingly, because I do work nights at my civilian job, and I do have to, get some sleep from time to time, as much of a pain in the ass as that is, but the grind is real. So in these videos, I'm going to show you how how Bald and Bonkers does it. And I also try to make sure to explain why we do things a certain way, so that way you understand that there is a logic to this. I'm not doing it just because I think it looks cute. So we're going to go ahead and pull up the first video, which will show you how to get your video distributed. I understand. Let's proceed. Blah, 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 blah. Come on. Bring up the video. Bring up the video. Okay. God. There we are. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Dakota Franson from Bald and Bonkers. We actually are going to do something a little bit different for this lesson. It's time to show you how to get your show out there. Obviously, there's going to be different methods to how you do this, which I'm going to try to go through them all. But this is the method I like to use in order to distribute Bald and Bonkers related shows, because it helps hit the most locations in the least amount of time. Obviously, we're going to utilize Streamlabs for this demonstration, but a lot of the streaming platforms offer very similar capabilities. A lot of the alternatives use the very same tools, so it should not make too much of a difference. If you see something weird flash across the screen right now, my cat is deciding to jump up here. So don't freak out. Gotta love them, right? So, Obviously, this is assuming that you have some sort of intros already selected, you have your profile set up, all of that. You're ready, you're good to go, you're ready to record. Let's get to it. With Streamlabs, one thing I really love is that you can pre-select intros. Like, see, here's the one we use right now for Bald and Bonkers Show.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's that time again. Ladies and gentlemen, from the deepest jungles to the utmost reaches of space beyond the veils of death itself, the Bald and Bonkers boys are back for their
Something lighthearted, something fun, almost gives it kind of like a talk show feel. That's what we were going for. Right as you go to hit live with Streamlabs, it'll automatically play it for you. So you can set it what intros and outros you want just by clicking on these three little dots on whatever video is here. Plus, if you decide to do more than one thing, say like I have a gaming thing selected here, it has different intros set up. Go Squat Scotland. This is more Chris's gig. Where's his crap? It should all be right here. Oh well. Then we have Bald and Bonkers News. And of course, Academy. There's his stuff. Alright. It's getting a little worried there. Sometimes you gotta click around in order to find stuff if you decide to use multiple profiles. So, anyway, back to what I was saying. Let's get a show scheduled. So what we're going to do is we're going to hit go live down here. We're going to pick all the pages we want it to go on. If you decide to set yourself up with Streamlabs, again, reason why I love it is because you can post to as many different profiles as you want. That's the option if you want to go live then and there. If you want to pre-schedule something, like say for example, we're going to schedule something for this weekend, we're just going to go ahead and go do this. You're going to see these warnings pop up is because different profiles have different requirements about what they'll accept. Say if you have the chat going and you have someone messaging you through Facebook, though chances are if the setting is not enabled, they will come through looking, it'll say Facebook user then whatever chat message. So we're just going to go ahead and get these all scheduled. Stream information. Now you can pre-record a session and you can upload it. Obviously there's some limits for what we want to do. We want to hit live stream. Then we're going to set it up. We want it to air out this weekend at 3 p.m. my time. It is Mountain Daylight time for me right now. We want it to pick the categories. Now I'm going to go ahead and cheat a little bit here. And I'm going to show you why. It's going to make things a lot easier for you. Ah! I did not mean to pick that. if you decide to go for a certain format, this will help speed up your process to where you can essentially just copy, paste, and change the information that you need. For this, I wanted to be related to the Bald and Bonkers show. So what we're going to do is we're going to copy this. It has all the episode information here, a little summary. If there was a guest on, it would have the links to the guest, and it has the company links right there. So we're going to hit copy, paste. Now, we already did this show. We don't want to repeat. What I want to focus on is this. We're calling it the Civilian Disclosure Project. It's another program that is being put together by Bald and Bonkers to participate in the UFO discussion. The basic idea is, we have all of these military professionals, background government employees coming forward about suppressed UFO technologies and all this. But that honestly leaves out the biggest demographic there is. That leaves out everyday people who have experiences. So, disclosure seems to be upon us. While various officials coming forward about the topic have helped taboo. The common approach. This approach leaves out the biggest demographic. The everyday people with extraordinary encounters. This is their chance to shine. Nice little summary there. We also want to make sure we change this if you decide to go with this route. Remember this format because it'll come in handy later on when it comes to some of the marketing methods I'm going to teach you. We're going to go ahead and copy all this information because I want to set this up for the entire weekend. Now this is just to show you what this all looks like. As you saw earlier, it's connected to Twitch profiles, Facebook, Trovo, DLive, YouTube, Twitter. This helps you get out to quite a few different destinations. It takes a minute for it to link up. We're going to just sit here, let it do its thing. We'll pop over to the main company YouTube channel. See, it hasn't really posted yet. We'll hit the refresh. Bada bing, bada boom. It's there. Now, it takes a minute for this to put together because it has to organize Facebook events for any episodes that are scheduled pre-recorded out for an extended period of time. It has to set up things on Twitter's side. Like I said, this is pretty much the only downside to having so many different platforms organized at once. It's just that it takes a minute. Sometimes if your connection isn't all that great. See? There we go. It'll give us a little link here to invite guests if we want to have them on. Shows us the links to all the Facebook and YouTube channels. For Twitch, Trovo, and all of those, it won't show us any links until afterwards. So now we're just going to repeat the process. Some of these channels I've been thinking about potentially removing, but that's due to another situation I won't go into here. Live stream, next. We want to make sure we set the date and the time that we want it to go out. Now, the reason why I didn't upload a thumbnail is because that's been acting kind of funny recently. I'm going to just call this Civilian Disclosure Project Part 2. Because we're going to use this weekend as kind of a spin-off to lead into this series to kind of drum up publicity. You know, it's a lot like major TV networks setting up spin-off shows by introducing the cast. YouTube account, shit. Forgot about that. You also have to make sure all your information is connected. I'm just going to go back, find out which one. Oh, yeah, it's probably this one. Live stream, next. We had to reset it, that's fine. Because it didn't go through like we wanted it to, shouldn't have to worry about making duplicates. Now, if for some reason, if it does error out on you, you might have to go in and delete duplicate streams. That is, like I said, it's one of the only real complaints I've had with this program. We're going to hit schedule. Everything looks good. And we'll just go in and add the thumbnail later on when I've had a chance to design it. See, Civilian Disclosure Project Part 2 already golden. We're just going to sneak over to Facebook real quick. See, right there. Interesting. Ashley Hill, she's a 48 investigator. There was a time we worked together through a mutual group, but it is what it is. Just going to close that out. Give that a second. Now, if you see here, you'll see all the recording past broadcasts. What we're going to do is we're going to download the recordings of the last weekend's episodes, and use these to distribute out to the rest of our channels. So this will give you an option to download the full video or just the audio version. Either one is fine. There are some platforms like Spotify for podcasters that do support video, but for the most part, we're just going to use the audio for right now. I already have it pre-downloaded, so that way we can just speed this up. See? Civilian Disclosure Project Part 2 ready to go. there you have it. That's all set. That's looking good. We're going to go ahead and leave this up so that way we can just pull the information from these. Now, this is how I like to do it. You don't necessarily have to. I occasionally like to combine the episodes, and I'll show you what I mean here in a second. So I'm just going to copy this certain section here. Then this section here. There we go. I'm going to show you how, for the Bald and Bonkers show, as well as for a couple other programs we run, how we actually distribute. Now, as you can actually see, there's a number of different recordings already in here, because with the company Streamlabs account, I occasionally like to do gameplay videos. Streamlabs is really excellent for those. There's a couple episodes from the Bald and Bonkers show. There's the previous recordings from this class. And I let Chris borrow it from time to time so that way he could actually talk about his own side gig. The man's worked with me well enough. He's earned his right to... He's earned his spot. We have noticed with Streamlabs, if you have more than one person logged into the main account at the same time, it may cause some technical issues with the intros and when everything gets shut down right. So be advised on that. Otherwise, again, this is a really excellent service. I have minimal complaints about it. So again, this is to help show you what we do in order to help distribute everything. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to download the recordings of these shows. See if right here it gives you a couple different options. You can record the video version or you can download the audio. For now, I just want the audio. You can download the video version to use for yourself to re-upload to different channels. That is completely up to you. That is your call to make. Now see, the file size tend to be quite large, so sometimes it takes a little bit in order for it to come together. So we're going to go ahead and go back while that's doing its thing. Betrayal of a Parent, that was the second episode we recorded this past weekend for Bald and Bonkers show. Both of these were topics to tie into the Sound of Freedom discussion, to basically go into the fact that it's not just, kids being hauled off in faraway places because their parents got scammed into thinking they were Hollywood recruiters or anything like that. A lot of the times, a majority of the cases of sex trafficking go unreported because the victims are being trafficked by their own loved ones. So we're just going to go ahead and let these download, and we'll get back to you here in a few minutes. Accidentally cut off the recording there, but that is perfectly fine. For this, we're going to use a program called Mobave Video Converter Premium. You don't have to use this. What this program is a file conversion software. It'll help you basically if you need to compress a file or you need to change the format. This is a really good program for that. What we're going to do is we're actually going to reduce the quality, and this is because there's a certain file limit to the programs we're going to use to distribute for the podcast side. We're going to rename this. See, with Streamlabs, it doesn't name it anything specific. The only way you can really tell what recordings there are is the date and time. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and name this the Finders, so that way we know which episode it is. Then betrayal of a parent. And we're just going to go ahead and hit convert. As you can see, it's going to convert it from WAV files down to MP3s. You can select different sorts of audio formats down here. This program even has settings that will match the typical settings of whatever device you're using, so it works better. However, I will say this is a paid program. There are free alternatives that you should see in the next. Helps if I unmute my mic. I just wanted to pop on real quick to elaborate on what I said in that video. Movave, it utilizes basically if you have like your cell phone or a tablet plugged into your computer, it actually can scan the system requirements, system settings of your device and set the videos to convert into a format that works best for that individual device. It tries to match it to. It doesn't match every device exactly. Say I have a Samsung Galaxy A52. It reads it as an S4, which is similar enough. So that's what I meant by that. I just wanted to pop on here real quick to correct myself before we continue on with the rest of this video. So anyway, pardon the intrusion, but back to the video. Next section of this course. So we're just going to give it time to do its thing. Unfortunately, if we were to hit merge files now, which it gives you an option to just kind of smack them together, it wouldn't do the full conversion like we wanted to. So obviously, I'm just trying to fill dead air right now. At most, you may hear my phone notifications going off and the fan running because it's been freaking hot. Got to be up to 104 yesterday. My goodness. As a big bald man, you felt like you could fry an egg on the top of my skull. So obviously this is going to take a minute because of the different file types as well as the size compression. Don't worry, the audio quality will sound just the same. That's why it has the ratings about the quality of the file as you go to compress it. Looks like it's finally almost done here. We're just gonna. There we go. Alright. So we're gonna take these out. Oh, not add video, we didn't want that. We're going to add audio. Now this is the file that it's saved in. As you can see, we already have a couple of files from the previous weekend already in there. And apparently it didn't record the full screen. We're going to reorganize it just particular because this operation. Is the order in which they aired. But combine the files. Still good info. Sorry about that. Had a phone call coming in. So we're just going to go ahead and hit convert. Obviously, where it's not compressing anything, it's going to be a hell of a lot quicker. There we go. Now, we're just going to go ahead and keep this tab up in the browser just so we have it, just in case we lose it. We're going to start distributing. Yes, I typed in anchor.fm, but it recently got changed into Spotify for podcasters. This is a really good platform. You know, we'll show you around real quick. See, it has different platforms that you can distribute it to. Even though it says it's only distributed out to 5, Bald and Bonkers is released out to all of them. We have more than one Anchor account just because I kind of transferred over old shows that I've always had there. Just kind of re-implemented a bunch of stuff that, okay, I don't know, I'm kind of jumbling myself here, but basically I already had some sort of podcasting thing set up when Chris and I initially started this journey, so I just went ahead and brought in something I already had set up so that way we could just kind of grow utilizing our already established audiences. Now you're probably wondering what's the deal with this setup that I'm doing right now. If you do Windows V, it'll bring up your clipboard, so it shows all the recent stuff you copied onto your device. And this is how we're going to set it up. The Finders, Betrayal of a Parent, the episode titles, goes into what each episode is about. It's quickly uploaded. Bada bing, bada boom. Now to save yourself some time, we're going to go ahead and copy these again. We want it to go out now. Yes, there is explicit content. You can also type in the episode title, season number, episode number, change the cover art. We don't have anything specific designed for that. So we're just going to go ahead and hit next. It'll give you the option if you want to add polls to the episode, a little Q&A to engage your audience through Spotify. Review. All looks good. Publish. Now we have the second Anchor program. I have it automatically set to where it brings up on Google Chrome, so that's why I'm doing it like this. Another program we utilize is called Acast. Excuse me. Excuse me. Very similar to Spotify for podcasters. We're just going to go ahead and hit end. See, there's a free plan, different all sorts of different features there. Excuse me. We're just going to go ahead and hit into here. Log in. We simply have the free account set up. It gives you all the majority of the features that you're going to want. Bald and Bonkers already set up. Now we had issues with the episode last week, so that's why you don't see it on this one, but it was basically just a file size issue. We kind of went long on certain episodes, so we're just gonna upload fairly quickly. Bada bing, bada boom. I'm gonna switch over to Google Chrome. We're gonna upload it on the Anchor side here. Again, when Chris and I first started this adventure, I basically brought in resources that I already had set up. He brought in resources he had already set up, and we just kind of combined them all together in order to, so we weren't starting from square one. We were combining our audiences. So we're just going to do the same thing here, and it's not going to flag it if you end up having to do it this way. Part of the reason we had to set up different accounts was because some of the more complicated settings involving the RSS feed, which can help syndicate it to different profiles, different websites even. We had issues because I ran through several different services before finally settling on here. Mostly because those former services took away their free plans, and I didn't have any income coming in because I was still in school. That's the basic summary of it, and I really did not want to go working at McDonald's. Nothing against people who work at McDonald's, it was just something I wanted to avoid. Heard some nasty things about the local McDonald's in the area taking advantage of their employees. And apparently I was right. But that's a little side story. Again, all the details look good. You can upload a thumbnail if you want. There's certain file size limits. We're not going to do that. Publish date, we're going to hit set it to now. We're going to just go ahead and head to distribution. This is all the different programs that we can link up to here. See, it has its own little way of connecting, like Samsung Podcast, Podcaster, Podchaser, Deezer, Josovian. We already have a spot on Spotify, doesn't matter. We also have Amazon Music and Audible already selected through another one of our platforms, so we're not going to worry about those. You can activate it. You're probably going to have to set up accounts with each one, but it's well worth it if you want to try to get your show out to as many different people as possible. See, that's already logged up. We're going to go ahead and shut that one down. Now we're going to go to Red Circle. You don't have to use all of these platforms. You can if you want. That is a choice that is completely up to you. This is just our way of hitting as many different platforms as possible. The next platform I'm going to show you after this one, I'll show you a little trick on how to get around their file size limits. Because it is a paid subscription, but if you want to just select the lowest payment plan optional available, which is like $5 a month, there is a way you can work around it. It takes a little bit longer, but it's well worth it. I'm just going to go ahead and hit publish. It's going to upload. While that's doing its thing, we're going to go over to Liberated Syndication, or libsyn.com. I'm going to show you the pricing right here. See, obviously the $5 a month doesn't exactly give you a lot to work with. Only 3 hours of upload, 3 hours to upload your podcasts with. However, there's a workaround, and I'm going to show you it. And hopefully by me showing you this, if any of you who have taken this course and try this method and find out that they shut this down, please do let me know, so that way I can redo this service. See, right now with the episode, with how it was set up, the episode we did last, Just Sick and Spiritual Healing with Danny Henderson, plus talking about the film Sound of Freedom, that would have used up all of our data right here. But I'm going to show you a little method here in a sec on how to get around it. See, Red Circle is processing right now, so we can go ahead and shut that down. Liberated Syndication. Once you have your episodes already set up, we're going to just kind of take you around here for a little bit before I show you the method, so you can see why I choose to shut. This is your dashboard, different links to the web player, the website that it sets up for you, as well as the RSS feed. Some of the stats you can take a look at. God damn. See, again, this is one of the accounts that I just kind of transferred over one of my old shows. It also has a social media thing that you could set up here. Here's some of the destinations you can actually set up if it loads all the way. There we go. See, we have Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, Audible, Ghana, player FM Samsung, so that's why if you go to look up Bald and Bonkers related, Bald and Bonkers on any platform, you see more than one, you know it's not somebody trying to play copycat. That's all us. So, let's get to uploading the program. You're going to want to go hit to New and Build with Studio. It's going to give you all these little options here. You can go through and erase everything, but right now all we want to do is upload. Basically, this is their new little podcasting studio where you can just record everything here. It'll slap everything together. It takes a couple of hours for it to do the processing before it'll let you add a lot of information about this episode. But this is how you get around the file limits, because it doesn't count towards your monthly data limit. Let's go with that. It doesn't. Doing it this way, yes, it takes longer, but it doesn't count towards your monthly data limits. That way you can just upload it, wait for it to do its thing, then just have at it. See, we're already uploaded, good to go. We're going to hit review. We're not going to worry about all that right now. We're going to hit finalize audio. It's going to be processing for a bit. As you see right now, it'll do all this. It usually takes a couple hours for it to complete because of the size of it. So, we're just going to leave that there for now, and we'll get back to it once we know that it's done. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, it just got the notification that this is done. So what we're going to do is going to go click on these three dots here, hit edit. You're likely going to have to exit the page you were on in order to do this. And like I said, it usually takes a couple hours in order for this to come together. So what we're just going to do is we're just going to hit Windows V to pull up our clipboard. We have all the information here. We're just going to do this to help separate it out. And official links. Bada bing. Bada boom. Bada bop. Suit it up. Beep it up. Boop it up. Boop. Alright. We're just going to hit publish. Like I say, you can add different artworks. You can specify tags, author. Oh, we should probably update this part. We did kind of swear a lot for that one. Just going to hit publish. It's going to take a minute. And we should be good to go. I'm just going to open this up here. Alright, should be good to go. And we're up. So let's just hop around on a few different websites, see where we're at. Let's go to iHeartRadio. Bald and Bonkers. Just gonna search for that right there. Check it out. We're gonna look at Spotify. Bald and Bonkers. So we have a couple different results here, but all the same. And Amazon Music Bald and Bonkers. Check it out. Now, what are we going to do next? Well, remember how I said you were going to want to pay attention to how we number the series? Well, on the next episode, the next lesson of this podcast, we're going to show you how to get your show on IMDb. Now you probably think you need like Hollywood backing in order to do this. Actually, you don't really. Because all the streaming platforms out there, like Netflix, Hulu, Disney Plus, all them, the criteria in order to submit a show onto onto IMDb has greatly expanded. Just keep that in mind. We'll show you how to do that next time. For a little added distribution, I'm going to show you guys a little secret we have. Some of you may know Bald and Bonkers actually has its own online TV network. This is true. We partner with a website called streamt.tv. There's some pricing options there. If you want to get started, there's a free option where it'll let you broadcast only on streamt.com. But if you collaborate with Bald and Bonkers, we might be able to hook you up. You remember how I said there was going to be a special added bonus if you complete this course and decide to follow through? Guess what? You complete this course, you'll actually be syndicated to the Bald and Bonkers TV network, which come 2024 is when we have the goal set. You will get to have your content featured on Roku. See, we have a couple different channel options here. This is an excellent opportunity if you want to have a 24/7 playlist come together in order to promote your stuff. We're going to show you this in another class. So, this is just a little peek at what's to come. We'll see you next time. What is up, ladies and gentlemen? I know I said I was going to include the IMDb bit on the next lesson, but the more I got to thinking about it, the best way to go about setting it up is to show you it now. So, here's part 2 of the class. Where are you hiding? There you are. Hope you enjoy. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another class. Today I'm going to show you a little known secret. How you can actually get your show on IMDb. As I mentioned in the last lesson, the criteria for submission is actually a lot less strict now. In fact, here I'll show you. It's where you can actually get your show on IMDb, even if you're just hosted on YouTube. See, here's a few different projects under the Bald and Bonkers name. We'll just go to the main one right now. The latest listed episode, we're going to update that while we're here. A list of all of the people we've had on. It's a very impressive way to put together your show, because not only does it help you get more marketing out there, but it also makes it to where you're several times easier to be found. So this process can be a little bit tricky because you often have to show proof that this show is coming together. So it's actually going to be, just one second. So we're back to the main website. What you're going to want to do is hit this menu button, and you can set up an IMDb account for free. There is the IMDb Pro. That is a paid subscription, but it is well worth it if you want to try to get some more high-profile guests. That'll help you get a hold of film agents, just basically help you find who you need to talk to in order to get some people. So for this, what we're going to do is we're wanting to add a new title. Adding data to IMDb, you click on that. Here's a few of the little notes it gives you. In this case, what we're going to do is we're going to put up a post for the Civilian Disclosure Project. Part of this class, what we're actually doing is I'm actually giving you a look behind the scenes of what we do as Bald and Bonkers in order to get everything put together. So we have a new project we're putting together that's going to help with the UFO movement, and that's the Civilian Disclosure Project. The idea for it is to give average everyday people a firm chance to actually tell their story instead of just having to be a military insider or a pilot, someone of specialty that has experience that would make their encounters a bit more credible. The idea is to address the fact that this is a very small demographic that is leaving out a lot of people who could bring forward some very interesting topics. So in this case, we're going to select for made for TV. Obviously, we have film, made for video. You can even submit music videos, podcast series, and video games. Being that this technically qualifies as a web series, that's why we're going to select here. I don't think we're going to convert it to the audio platform just yet. Being that we actually, as you saw in the last class, we're going to set it for this weekend at the time of this recording, which today is July 18th, 2023. We can select release and screened / available to the public, or a firm date set in the relatively near future. This weekend is near future. Now, I'm technically considered a producer, but this is the information. These are the positions you have to have for a show in order to be able to submit it. Most of you who are taking this course will probably fall under producer / director / writer. Now it's going to ask you to specify things. This is going to be a subtype TV series. Year is 2023. Check for updates. Now, you're going to get a little intimidated by this red box. Don't be intimidated. It just tricks you, okay? Ongoing. It's a brand new project. We don't want to say it's going to be shut down anytime soon. Now, it's going to try to recommend different variations. Typical skeptic podcasts. I just did a recording for that one. But anyway, this is going to give you some similar projects. I think some might be related, because a lot of people get this mixed up. This is a brand new title, I know for sure, so we're going to check this box here. recheck for updates. Bada bing, bada boom. Now, in order for this to get submitted, we have different sections that we need to add in. So, mandatory information, release dates. Being that I'm based out of the US, we're going to start there. This Saturday is the 22nd. Yes, that is the date for a Bald and Bonkers show, but we're going to use this as the official start of the Civilian Disclosure Project. Call it a kind of a spin-off / crossover. Now, it's going to be on a streaming service, free or paid. See, sometimes it might ask for additional information. See if we can trigger that to let us type something in it. See, like physical media, DVD, Blu-ray. It's going to ask you a little more info. Other, obviously. So right now, being that it's going out on all the Bald and Bonkers video channels, it's going to be on a streaming service, free or paid. We're also going to be looking into possible physical releases here in the near future, but that's going to be a while. Now, obviously, like I mentioned before, you need to show evidence. So, here's what they will actually accept for evidence. We actually do have a preview trailer, if I'm not mistaken, that should be up on the YouTube channel. So we're just going to sneak right over there. If not, why does it say sign in? Oh. Yeah, blah, 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 blah. No, not game night. Ugh. Alright, so we're in the Bald and Bonkers channel. See, you can see some of the distribution for our other platforms. And what we are going to do is we're actually going to, no, not that. Did not mean to click that. We're going to go ahead to our channel. Videos. It should be in there. Did I put it here? Maybe not. Is it under shorts? TikTok's ripoff of... I did not. Oh no. Oh no. We can fix it. We can fix it. We can fix it. Let's see. If I remember correctly, we made a bit of a teaser in Render Forest, so that's why I'm going here. It's going to need the proof. Now the proof is in the pudding, as they would say. Come on. Let me... Fuck you. Because I'm using the Windows screen recording option, it's blocking my ability to just select my profile. So we're just going to go down here. No, that's not it. That is actually... here's the teaser. Civilian Disclosure Project teaser. We're just gonna go ahead and hit publish. It's going to ask us what platforms to use. So if I didn't show you this before, yes, you can publish your videos directly from RenderForest onto your YouTube channel just to kind of help speed things up. So now we're going to head back over here. We're going to head to YouTube Studio because it's going to be listed as private. Give me a moment so I can grab a drink. Nothing against y'all, it's just been hot lately. We're going to head over to content. It's processing right now, but we can go in and edit. New project from the Bald and Bonkers Network, LLC, to further the cause of UFO disclosure. We're going to want to copy this link real quick. I'm just going to set that to public. Done. And we're going to create a new playlist while we're here to help, or a new podcast, quote unquote. Civilian Disclosure Project. A push by Bald and Bonkers Network, LLC, to aid in UFO disclosure. It may not seem like much, but every little bit helps when it comes to this type of topic. So there's our thumbnail right there. We're just going to hit create. There we go. We hit save here. And it should be up. So we're going to post the link here. Teaser trailer. YouTube teaser trailer. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Now, we need basic identifying information. What languages is it likely going to be in? What country does it come out of? Well, I'm out of the U.S., so we're just going to say U.S. It's going to likely be in English. It's going to be in color. See, it would be, I guess it would technically be a documentary series. Go away. And whoever you are, you can go ahead and submit yourself as like the series director. Production information, like 0. Official websites, tips for, this is where you can set up like, connect like social media, company name. So Bald and Bonkers already has a spot set up on IMDb. You're probably going to have to create a new one for yourself. Production company. Wait, I screwed up. Hold on. We are going to post that link there. Distributors, Bald and Bonkers Network, worldwide. Like I said, you might need to create some production company information in order to get all this correct, but once you have it, will help you so much. Cast. We're going to add myself as a producer. You can add yourself over and over, by the way. It doesn't really matter. If you have other people that are going to be on board helping you, obviously you're going to want to include them. Let's see, do we need any other information here? let's go ahead and add a few keywords. Recheck for updates, so that way it'll let us type in more information. See, it'll give you kind of confusing little updates as you go about, but it's perfectly okay. See, we're missing the country code, so automatically suggested the fix for us. We're going to go ahead and select those to correct it. Now, right now, I'm the host. As well as the main one writing all of it, so one person can have more than one credit on TV shows like this. So it's perfectly fine. Plot detail. Extraterrestrials. Plot detail. Identified. Aliens. Alien abduction. Identified flying objects. This is a good start. So let's see how IMDb likes this. You get the green. That's always good. Green. All good. All good. Ah! Whoop-a-bonk. Bald and Bonkers. There we go. That should fix that. Extraterrestrial. We'll go ahead and keep that. Unidentified spacecraft. Let's go work with that. Apparently those are good. Those are good. Go ahead, recheck these updates again. And looks all green. We can hit submit. Now it might take some time for the updates to be implemented, so we're not going to worry about that. Now we're going to head over to the Bald and Bonkers page so I can show you how to update the pages. Once you have everything set up, it's fairly easy. Like I said, there's going to be a couple times where it throws up that red in order to say something's wrong with the submission, but sometimes it just tricks you. So what we're going to do is we're going to head to YouTube Studio real quick again. Because remember how I showed you how to type out certain information? That's where it's going to come in handy here. We're going to head to live because the episodes were live streamed. We're going to go here. We're not really going to edit anything. We're just going to use it to help submit. Keeping this format and keeping it updated and accurate will help you just in case you get distracted and maybe forget to submit it one day or anything like that. Episode title. The Finders. Did the CIA shut down an FBI investigation into child trafficking? This episode aired on July 15th of this year. US bound. Now, in order to submit it, the episode number, you need to have this format here. This is 7.03. When you put that into IMDb, the first number tells what season, and after the decimal, it's episode number. We're just going to go ahead and get rid of the 0 because that's not needed right now. See? Now, recommended information. What will we put? Well, we're going to put 2 because it was Chris and I on this one. And we're just going to hit a plot outline. Now, because we've already established that... What the fuck? Okay, IMDb is acting up today. That's okay. Now, normally when you go to submit something new, it's going to give you an option to pick people that have already been involved. Oh, look, a possible relative of mine that worked on John Wick. Alright. Now, we're all going to add Chris Mole. There we go. That's what I wanted to see. So that way, when you already have a cast going, you can just click as you go, and it's conveniently organized to all the different seasons. How you decide to split up seasons is completely up to you, but this will help you not have to constantly just type in people. You can just click and go. For the plot outline, we're just going to go ahead and copy this in. There might be a character limit, so we'll have to... There is a character limit, so we might have to shrink it on some occasions, but it looks like in this case, we're all good. And we're going to go ahead and hit submit. If it's all good, it'll just go right through. Ah! Damn you, Christopher. That's okay. That's the only issue. Warning understood. Go ahead. Recheck. This is the first credit in this section for Christopher Mole. See, if you go to add someone new to all these sections, they'll probably bring up these alerts again. So, this is where you just collect it. This is the first section for Mole Christopher. That means it's the first time that he's been listed as a writer. So we're going to hit recheck for updates. Looks like we're all good. Hit submit. Now we're going to edit more info. Bald and Bonkers 2021. You're going to want to have to put the year your series initially came out, or what you have it listed as. Otherwise, it will still yell at you. Now we're going to add in the other episode, Betrayal of a Parent. These were some dark episodes, given the situation. We tried to use our usual humor, but there's a limit to how much you can do in this type of situation, you know? Season 7, Episode 4. Looks like that's all good. 2 writers, 2 directors, 2 producers, 2 casts, and that's why it was acting up, because I usually don't put writers. Because Chris usually ends up spitballing it and going completely off the rails from what I actually want to do, but hey. So we're going to take away his writing credit. I'm just joking. We're going to cheat and copy and paste it. And for the plot outline, Ooh, 75 characters over. Alright, 33 characters over. We'll go ahead and kill that. There we go. Still the same plot that we put on the YouTube channel, just a few words taken out. Still same message. Go ahead and recheck updates. Chances are it's going to flag us again on Chris. Yeah, I know we already clicked this selection, but it hasn't had time to update. It usually takes about an hour for the updates to go through all the way, so it's a slight pain in the ass, but it's well worth it to help with promotional. Now that that's all submitted, we should be good to go. It usually takes about an hour for it to go through. Now, what if you already have an episode ready to go? Like I said, one thing I've always run into is that when I had something in mind for an episode, Chris usually takes it off the rails. I don't know what goes through his head some days, but in this case, where I'm taking the reins, I can go ahead and add the upcoming episodes of Civilian Disclosure Project. So we're just going to go ahead and do that right now. It's going to be coming out this Saturday, July 2023. 5th episode of the season. Only one writer. Let's see, is it ready yet? No. So we're going to have to physically type my name in. To alter what we already wrote down, which is completely fine. You know, it's expected. And that's what we'll use. I'll recheck these updates, and beautiful. Sometimes it'll correct it in order to fit with its rules. That's perfectly fine. Added more info because we have 2 episodes to push the Civilian Disclosure Project. And yes, I'm well aware that I kept writing Civil Disclosure Project, but it was corrected just as I was recording this, but it was corrected, I hope. Back to the lesson. Contact by Bald and Bonkers, that was sort of a little spin-off that we had. I already re-implemented the episodes into the official main show listing, so that way it's just all together. We tried to keep a certain pattern, but it just wasn't really working out. Now, some of you may be wondering, well, Dakota, if you submit the shows like this, why do you combine the episodes on the podcast side? Well, that's kind of a lazy approach, to be honest. Speed things up, keep it all together, all that jazz. So we're just going to go through and do the same thing we did with the last one. It's up to you how you want to do it. If you want to combine the episodes like I've shown you on here, that's completely fine. That is your call to make. It is your program. It's your show. You do what you want. You do what you want with it. Recheck these updates. Beautiful. And we're all good. We're going to pop up on here, see if it's been updated yet. Not quite. So how do we know if it's going to be updated? Well, you're probably going to get a shit ton of emails sent to whatever account you have set up with IMDb. Just to kind of help give you updates. But if you want to check your updates, you can hit that little tab from the menu, go to Contributor Zone. Let's see, where are we at? Where was it? Contribution history, there we go. Saying all these credits are added. So we should be good to go. It just might take a bit for the website itself to update. Let's see. Yep, it's going to take a minute, but that's all there is to it. See you in the next lesson. Now I do mean it this time. We'll see you in the next lesson. Like I said before, these are all just recommended tips to help you grow. If you decide to follow our system to a T, it'll help you gain a lot of reach quicker than you expected, just because it helps you take a few shortcuts to help get you exposure for a little less than a Starbucks addiction. Anyway, my name is Dakota Franson. That's it for today's lesson. I shall see you in the next one.